Trump is going to bring back slavery.
The ultra-wealthy love slavery, and they will do everything in their power to preserve slavery.
The white man should have never ended slavery. Of the black community. White man should have never abolished slavery.
The real reason white people want to erase the history of slavery is because given the chance, they would absolutely do it again. While not all of us subscribe to this system, a lot do. That's why they like our current president, because he consistently, without fail, reinforces the hierarchy of white people on top, followed by everybody else.
I'm going to tell you why white folks are mad. White folks are mad because got away. Got away. Got away. It's because they don't have slaves anymore. He goes, when we was free, we didn't have no jobs. When we were slaves, we had 12 jobs. He said, imagine if slavery was to come back, they'd be like, oh, welcome home.
Welcome back.
We haven't seen you in a long time. Your room is exactly the way we left it. Paul Mooney he was right. That's the reason, because all the wars in America were fought because of slavery.
Yeah.
They wanted to keep what was the economy was slavery. Yeah. The first thing on Wall Street was slaves.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole thing. It's always about us.
Yeah.
They want us to be slaves. This is real. They wish slavery could come back again.
The institution of slavery is not inherently evil. I know. Some of you guys are upset by that. Some of you guys are saying, I've been saying that for years. Okay, I'll take it a step further. It is not inherently evil to own another human being.
They were a slave. They were given housing, food, clothing, medical care.
From what you said, it sounds like you were born before the civil rights movement.
Oh, yeah.
So black people couldn't buy houses in your lifetime when you were maybe a baby.
I'm well aware of that.
You were 5. So you don't think there's any downstream effect?
I felt oppressed at that time.
Yeah.
But that's what Martin was trying to correct. Right now, I see so many people living off the government handout.
I'm pretty sure welfare use per capita is higher in red states than blue states.
Yes, but there's so many people living off of the government handouts, and that is not that much farther away from slavery. They were a slave. They were given housing, food, clothing, medical care. The people asked them to work. Yes, there were landowners that were violent and mean to some of them, but there were others that were humanistic. The Civil War was something that no one could do anything about, because the whites, quote unquote, whites from the South, are not the only ones that had slaves. Slaves are all over the world. Slaves still exist today.
Do you think there's a direct effect from slavery to how black Americans are able to live today?
No, I don't. They have a chance to learn. They live in the best country in the world. If they open their eyes and listen, instead of just focusing on their little area and people that they hang out with, they would learn.
So white people will never leave black people alone, and I'm gonna tell you why. White society's obsession with black people isn't new, it's centuries old. If you think about slavery, colonialism, and exploitation, from the start, white wealth in America was built off the backs of black bodies. Sugar, cotton, tobacco, rice. This wasn't just economics, it was a system where white people's very identity was shaped around controlling and owning and watching black bodies. But here's the wild contradiction in all of this, right? While trying to dehumanize us, white culture has always been obsessed with us, right? They copied our music, our style, our language, our food, even our rhythm, all while denying us basic rights. Think about jazz and rock and hip hop and fashion, all born out of black genius, only to be taken, watered down, and sold back to the world with a white face on it. So why can't they just stay away? Because in a system that is built both on exploitation and envy, distance is impossible. White supremacy depends on keeping black people in place, close enough to use, control, or imitate, but never free enough to threaten the hierarchy. It's a sick paradox, fear and fascination at the same damn time. On a psychological level, it's projection. White folks will project their guilt, their fear, and their insecurities onto blackness, and then turn around and crave the very life, culture, and resilience they try to destroy. It's like they want the sauce, but not the struggle. Now, to be real, not every white person acts like this, but the system, the way whiteness has defined itself against blackness, makes it so this obsession keeps resurfacing. Whether it's over policing or culture appropriation or trying to legislate our lives, it always comes back to the old need to dominate mixed with a quiet desire to be what they can't.
In my opinion, the white man should have never ended slavery.
That's cute. Now go take your ass to the hood and go express that, sir. Don't do this behind a phone. Don't do this in a safe place. No, I'm gonna need you to go take your ass deep into the hood where it's predominantly black people, and I want you to go say that right in front of them. Do not hide behind your phone. Actually get up and do something about it, because literally all it takes is just one of y'all to stand up. All it takes is one of y'all to stand up, and y'all don't find it weird how y'all be having these rallies and all this other bullshit and shit in safe areas, right? How come y'all never do that in the hood? I never see y'all in Detroit, ever. So with that being said, sir, if you honest to God really feel that way, I'm gonna need you to go to the hood and express exactly how you feel. Maybe then will everybody take your comments seriously. But until then, Let's see how strong that bravery is.
The real reason white people want to erase the history of slavery is because given the chance, they would absolutely do it again. While not all of us subscribe to this system, a lot do. That's why they like our current president, because he consistently, without fail, reinforces the hierarchy of white people on top, followed by everybody else, of native citizens on top, followed by everybody else. I consider white supremacy to be one of the most dangerous domestic threats in the United States. Because if you didn't know, there are estimated this many active members in white supremacist organizations. People like your pastor, your neighbor, maybe someone you've seen giving looks to people of color, but not necessarily saying anything. White people try to downplay the effects of white supremacy, but it's significantly more people than they will admit. And those are just the people who are overtly racist and willing to label themselves as part of this organization, not even the other people who genuinely believe in it without speaking on it. Point being, erasing the history of slavery and erasing the horrible atrocities that happened in this country is a genuine crime. And it's intentional, because if it's erased, those patterns are going to repeat themselves. So erasing this history isn't just ignorant, it's malicious.
And I'm telling you folks, right there, how white folks got so rich. The untold story of American white supremacy. I mean, I just read about the Indian land grab. And I'm like, my gosh, man, good Lord. No wonder we don't want to teach the truth. No wonder we don't want to teach the truth. Because that means we've got to look people in the face and say our forefathers were the worst people in the history of mankind. The things that they did, that manifest destiny, that kind of mentality has been atrocious. What we have done to the African Americans. The estimated number of wealth that came from slavery, from free labor, and that's what it was. And they estimate that the amount of money that came from slavery was around $24 trillion. You can't even grasp that much money. The average person has a hard time grasping what $1 billion is. $1 trillion. Holy shit. And a lot of people don't want to admit the truth because a lot of people also are scared that what happens if we actually do have to maybe pay reparations. Understand that everything, that beautiful Capitol in Washington, D.C. was built by slave labor. The majority of the churches in this country were built by slave labor. Our forefathers were lazy. And if they were smart, which they were, but the problem was they were cunning. It's sad. And I'm telling you folks, right there, how white folks got so rich. The untold story of American white supremacy. I mean,
the problem that we have in white America is that most white people, when they hear about white racism, most white people say, man, that's not me. I never discriminated against anybody. Never did. In their sense of what discrimination means or what racism is, they may be right. But they sit residing in a system from which they take full benefit, a system that defines them in and defines black people out. We are going to have to face the fact that we are not a community. The community is where a lot of people develop mutually beneficial relationships with each other. And our racist institutions and the political boundaries of our cities define black people out of the community. White people will sit in their suburban homes and watch their television programs and hear about all of these laws that are being passed. Many of them are beginning to wonder, well, what is it with those colored people on there? Why are they so upset? All this wonderful stuff that we're doing for them. But we aren't focusing on the black man living on the block. He lives in a 2-flat on that block. And he knows what the circumstance on that block was 10 years ago. Well, and he knows what it is today, and he, too, has heard about all of those programs and laws being passed. But the hard facts of the matter is that things are not changing for you. It's no wonder that the white population and the black population are pitted against each other when the black man knows that the change is not coming, and the white man thinks that major efforts are being undertaken when they are not. So I don't think anybody should be surprised when one sees the black people in an open attack on the system, because I suspect that they don't see that there is any other realistic alternative.
White people ultimately don't need other races in order to succeed, in order to be ourselves. Absolutely not.
So how do you think America became the greatest economic nation without...
Not through black people.
Oh, it wasn't? It wasn't because of free labor?
Are you talking about slavery?
No, I'm talking about slavery and also what happened after slavery, which Douglas Blackman talked about, slavery by another name. So I'm trying to understand, when you say didn't need it, how do you think America became the greatest economy that it did? How do you think that happened?
Through the genius of Europeans.
How was the genius of Europeans when the fact of the matter is it was actually King Cotton that supplied the economic means for America to do so? And that was a result of free labor from black people.
Look, the whole point here is that who creates these systems? Who creates these business models and businesses?
Slavery was a business model?
Well, yes, it was a business model.
I asked you again, okay? You said we don't need anybody else.
No.
But the reality is, American history proves you wrong. The fact of the matter is, there is no great America. You can't sit here and talk about that greatness without other people.
The only reason that white people in the United States or anywhere we are, in Europe, in Africa, in Australia, in Israel, wherever we are the colonizers. We are the colonizers. And we live off the expense of the assault, Europe's assault on Africa, the kidnapping of African human beings, the trafficking, all of these things that we hear today. This is where it came from. Hundreds of years of assaulting and stealing everything that African people and Africa as a continent had, and putting it into the hands of white people. And so this is why, as the chairman has said, the true class struggle, the true working class in the world is the African and colonized working class, not white people, because all white people, and you know this is true, you and I know this is true, by just living our lives and seeing it, all white people sit on the pedestal on the backs of African and indigenous people. And, you know, the statistics are that even poor white people have an easier ability in a crisis to raise $3,000 in an emergency than middle-class African people do. Yeah. Because we live in social wealth. Yeah. We live with the wealth.
White people considered freedom a mental illness for people who were enslaved because they really thought that they were doing black people a favor by enslaving them. In 1851, Dr. Samuel Cartwright declared that escaping slavery was a disease called drapetomania. Men were flogged until their backs shredded. Women whipped, chained, screamed, branded. White doctors wrote it in journals as treatment. Freedom itself was illegal and pathologized as insanity. But on the other hand, white rebels screamed for liberty and got monuments. Black rebels were tortured, erased, and forgotten. This is the truth that they don't want you to know, but it's all in Black AF history, the unwhitewashed story of America. It's already sold out once this month, so if you see an orange or yellow card down below, that means it's still available.
Why do white people resent black excellence? Let's talk about it. Not all white people are racist, obviously, but there is a specific subset for whom black excellence seems like a personal affront to them, right? It really bothers them when black people succeed. The 13th Amendment emancipated enslaved black Americans in 1865, and then the Jim Crow laws kind of wrapped up with the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964. So if we do the math, that's about 61 years in which black Americans were able to strive for success in any sort of meaningful way without like the constraints of the law pulling them down. 61 years. If we compare that to white Americans who besieged a land already owned and occupied by indigenous Americans, we'll put that around 1620 when, you know, the Mayflower came here. Then that gives them about 425 years to establish success in this country. 425 versus 61. If we compare those two fundamentally very different time spans, like how much did white Americans actually do in all that time? If we are to compare even the poorest and most underprivileged of white America to black America generally, it is clear that white Americans are born way past the start line, right? By that I mean, by like nature of being white in American society, you do benefit from all sorts of privileges, and like, to be frank, you're not exhausted by the horrible experience of facing racism on a daily basis, right? You do have a ton of privileges. So I imagine existing in this bubble of privilege that you like totally deny, the existence of black people for whom success is like second nature, when it comes so easily and so readily, even though you've only had 61 years to achieve it, I imagine that's exhausting and frustrating. I imagine it makes people feel super, super inferior and hurts certain people's tiny, tiny little egos. And what do they blame that deep, deep psychic pain on? Well, of course, DEI and critical race theory and affirmative action. So I guess the question is, what might help those white Americans who just so strongly detest black excellence? Like, what will help you? And for that, I would suggest like a lot of therapy, like a ton of therapy. And I would also just suggest that we open the schools, right? We teach people history. Yeah, maybe? Okay, bye!
I don't mean to say this like to be disrespectful, and maybe this is, some people are going to think this sounds dumb, but I feel like there's a deeper reason why, you know, people of color and specifically the black community have been relentlessly persecuted. Like, I mean, just the things that happened during slavery alone, like, were insane. But I don't know, the more I learn about black history and the ways that, you know, people people who literally worked in the government, like the CIA, all these different people in power were trying to ruin the Black community. And it makes me think, dude, I feel like, is there something more going on here than just racism? Because it's like, come on, you're telling me you're doing all of this stuff just because you don't like someone's skin color? I feel like, what if, I have this theory that, like, what if Black people have some type of superpower? Like, what if they have, I don't know, if they're just born with something very valuable that we don't really know about, but maybe, you know, like I said, these people, these rich people and these people in power, maybe they figured it out a long time ago, and maybe that's why they were like, oh, we have to like get rid of them, blah blah blah. I don't know, I feel like maybe they have something special that we are not taught about that is linked to them being people of color, you know. And I've seen some Black creators come on here and try to explain how special it is to have melanin in your skin and how it has all these different properties, but I don't know, I just feel like I have this theory that this goes so much deeper than maybe a lot of us realize, because I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna go out of your way for all these hundreds and hundreds of years to try to ruin one group of people over something as silly as, oh, their skin is a different color. Like, I feel like there's something that we don't know. I'm telling you, there's something special about them that they don't want us to know. Okay, this is just something that I've been thinking about recently, and I'm like, maybe if there are some Black creators that maybe they already made a video and I just didn't see it, I don't know, but like, I don't know, maybe it sounds dumb. Or maybe this is like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, but you know, it's just something.
You know, I'll never forget the day a white buddy of mine said Black people don't deserve equality because they could never get enough. And that's true. White people are actually scared of equality. That's just how racist we are as a people. And it's not just that one person. White culture in general. Probably, I would say most white people, when they hear the word equality, they fear that white people will be oppressed because brown, Black, and indigenous people might actually get what's fair and just. That's just how racist we are. And we're so obsessed with the idea of not having equality in America for Black, brown, and indigenous people that we don't have health care, that we don't have economic equality, we don't have reasonable gun laws. Our liberties are being stripped because we have a fascist, racist, white supremacist regime in office, because we are so scared of equality. We're so scared that Black and brown folks might become the majority one day, that we had a Black president, and now we've got to have a white supremacist president. That's how scared we are of equality. That's how racist we are as a people. Go to the fucking root. The root of America's problems. The root of the white man and the white woman, their problems in America and the world. If you think about it, colonialization, white supremacy, the mentality of white people today, not just yesterday, today, right now, the denial racially, the silence, the apathy, the continuous gaslighting, all that's ruined us. It's ruined white people, and it's ruining our nation. And whose fault is it? White people's fault. Their inability to fucking fix their goddamn problem.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Furaha. If you're watching us for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for being that patient. You have watched the video to this end. I really appreciate each and every one of you for that. I know that you did not have to, but you chose to do it anyway, so I really appreciate you, and I don't take that for granted. Guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, if you are not yet a member on my channel, please consider doing that right now. Join us, be part of this amazing family, the amazing journey. Yeah, we are on journey and we are going far. We have come from way too far, and there's lots and lots of people that have been in support of my channel, of support of me, and you have given me basically everything that I needed to pick myself up and continue building this channel. Now guys, please consider subscribing. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, on today's video, we're talking about slavery and white people, their connection, and how they relate to Black people, what Black people have as a problem, what white people have as a problem. Now, I do not want to say a lot of stuff about this video because it's self-explanatory. It's something that you as a black person living in America have experienced. You have talked about it countless times. You have interacted with content saying the same thing. Now, the biggest problem about white people wanting black people to be enslaved again, the reason why they miss slavery, the reason why they are uncomfortable the way that they're uncomfortable with black joy, they are uncomfortable with black excellence, they're uncomfortable with the resilience that black people have, they're uncomfortable with basically everything about black people. Now, the reason why this is the way that it is because these people have been used, they have been programmed. All their systems have programmed them to believe that they are better than black people. They are, they are more deserving than black people, that they are, the blueprint, that whatever they want should be the priority. Now, when they are becoming of age and realizing that these things actually just are fallacies and they're not the reality of life, they're not better than black people, and all that, it is very depressing for them. It is very disillusioning for them to come to that kind of realization and conclusion, because then they do not know how to behave around that fact. They are unable to wrap it around their heads that they are not number one, yeah, that they are not all that they have been told they were. Now, the biggest reason why white people are always against black people is because of control, yeah. Now, if you have been reading and learning the black history and anything surrounding black people and the things that have affected them to this point, you definitely know that one of the biggest reasons why white people are this uncomfortable about black people is because they cannot control black people any longer. That they have been doing that in the past and they got used to that. They thought that that is the normal. To them, that was really the absolute normal. And to now realize that black people have gotten out of the cage, that black people cannot be controlled around, that black people cannot be asked to go left and they go left, they will question why and how come they have to go that direction. Black people are not those polite and cool people that they used to be. They now question, yeah. You ask them to do things a certain way, they will question it, and if you do not give them a satisfactory answer or reasoning, they are not going to do it. Now, white people do not know how to deal with someone that is like that. They do not know how to deal with someone that is not humble, in quotes, because the kind of humility that they ask for from black people is not really humility. It's more of someone being stupid enough to be, controlled around. You're being asked to go left and you just go because someone said you must go and you just do it, yeah. They want black people to be like that, like sheep, yeah. You are told not to do this and you don't do it. You are asked to be here at this time and you are there at that time without knowing why, and all that thing. They're not used to black people that question. They're not used to black people that actually disagree. They're not used to black people that will tell you in your face that they're not going to do it. Now, they have been used to control, during the times of slavery and most of the, time in the 400, 500 years that we talk about. They have been used to that, they control black people around. It's like they own black people. They actually did own black people. And they got used to that because that was their property. Like the way they own a car, they own black people. Whatever they ask of black people should just, be blind to it and do it without caring if it affects them or not. Now, while black people have worked on themselves and made sure that they have a voice and they can speak and they have done their things their way and they are ready to even live alone, you have seen black people talk about segregation. They're not fearful of that. They're not scared of segregation. In any case, that is good news to them, and they're asking the government to please bring back segregation because that is like promising them a peaceful place. And white people are unable to get that to sink in their heads, because they have believed for so long that black people cannot exist without them. And now coming to terms with the fact that black people are actually willing and ready, more than willing, to go live on their own and never have to deal with white people, that is upsetting to them. That is some reality that they do not know how to accept, you know. It's a reality that they are not ready to live with. Yeah. So guys, I know you have your thoughts and you have watched the video, liked it, enjoyed the views. Yeah. So guys, if you have anything that you'd like to say, please leave that in the comment section below. Let's interact in the comment section. Let's know what you think. And it doesn't matter if you agree or disagree to whatever we're saying over here. Feel easy, feel free. This is a safe space. Say whatever it is that you have on your mind while watching this, after watching this. Yeah, let me know what you think. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, if you have not joined us as a member, please consider doing that. Be part of us, be part of this amazing family. Let's grow together, let's learn. The main goal of this channel is to learn stuff and learn things and relearn others that we did not know before. So guys, I hope that you're also keeping safe wherever you're watching me from. Times are tough, a lot of things are not working out, a lot of people are feeling disillusioned, the promises are not coming to pass, the things that, you know, were supposed to be obvious are now just problematic enough to even like discuss, talk about. Yeah, there's a lot that is not going right, but let's please consider looking at the positive sides of things. Let's look at the things that are working and be thankful for that. You have life, you're watching this video, you're alive, you have family, you have friends, you have people that love you, yeah, that care about you. I mean, let's look at the positive side of things and not just complain way too much. Guys, I hope that you keep safe. I will see you on my next video. Bye for now.